Hello and welcome back, everyone. We are now on Chapter 13, Progress and Performance, Measurement and Evaluation. We've come very far in this textbook. We are now on Chapter 13 and we will be soon moving to project closure, and we'll cover international projects, oversight, agile, and career paths next. Structure of a project monitoring information system. Creating a system involves determining what data to collect, how, when, and who will collect the data, how to analyze it, and how to report current progress to your management. The structure, what data are collected, for example, current status, remaining cost to complete project, which we'll go into detail to discuss in this chapter, project completion date, out of control activities, forecast of overruns, and others. So the questions of who will collect the data, how will it be collected, when will it be collected, and who will compile and analyze it, all has to be assigned to someone on the project team or in an administrative role, or the project manager might do it him or herself. Also, regarding reports and reporting, who will receive, how will the reports be transmitted, when will the reports be distributed based on the data that has been collected and analyzed. So the format of the project progress report can include progress since the last report, the current status of schedule, cost, and scope, trends, problems and issues, actions and resolutions of earlier problems identified and resolved, and new variances and problems identified, and also the corrective action planned. So the textbook defines control as the process of comparing actual performance against the plan to identify deviations, evaluate courses of action, and take appropriate corrective action. The steps in project control are shown. Setting the baseline plan is first, measuring progress and performance, comparing plan against actual, and then taking action. Some of the tools are tracking and baseline charts and control charts. This shows an example of the baseline Gantt chart and then the tracking Gantt chart showing the status. So the baseline durations are in the light blue with the stripe through it, or the hashing, and then the actual completed is in the light blue. Excuse me, the darker blue. To develop an earned value, cost, or schedule system, you must have a time-phase baseline plan. It corrects the failure of most monitoring systems to connect the project's actual performance to its schedule and forecast budget. Systems that measure only cost variances do not identify resource and project cost problems associated with falling behind or progressing ahead of schedule. So the earned value cost schedule system is an integrated project management system based on the earned value concept that uses a time phase budget baseline to compare actual and planned schedule and cost. Developing an integrated cost schedule system involves first defining the work using the WBS, the work breakdown structure, which you did in your project and also other assignments. Second, develop work and resource schedule, which you also did in your project and other assignments. Next, develop the time phase budget using work packages, which you added to Microsoft Project in your project. And then at the work package level, collect the actual costs for the work performed. In our assignments, we won't actually go through a project, but we can do some exercises to simulate actual work performed. So to get the actual cost is the work that's actually done, and then you multiply the percent complete times the original budget to obtain the earned value. Next, complete the schedule variance, the earned value minus the present value, and then the cost variance, the earned value minus the actual cost. The purposes of a baseline include that it is an anchor point for measuring performance, Plan cost and expected schedule against which actual cost and schedule are measured. It's a basis for cash flows and awarding progress payments, and it's a summation of time-phased budgets. So the costs that are included in baselines are labor, equipment, materials, and project direct overhead costs, which are called DOC, direct overhead costs. This slide shows the rules for placing costs into baseline. They are placed exactly as expected to be earned in order to track them to their point of origin. So basically, if you have a really good baseline, then you can do the activities that we're talking about in this chapter. If your baseline is not accurate, then you're really not going to have an accurate measurement when you're trying to calculate earned value and just monitor your performance. The percent complete rules. Costs are periodically assigned to a baseline as units of work are completed over the duration of a work package. So methods of variance analysis include comparing the earned value with the expected schedule value and with the actual cost. Assessing the status of a project. You look at your required data elements, look at the data budgeted cost of the work scheduled, the budgeted cost of the work completed, and the actual cost of the work completed. You can calculate schedule and cost variances. A positive variance indicates a desirable condition, where a negative variance suggests problems or changes that have taken place. So also remember that when you create your baseline schedule, if you have a change order or change in scope that is approved by your client and your project manager and sponsor, then you have to redo a baseline. So you have a new baseline to measure your project progress against. Cost variance indicates if the work accomplished using labor and materials costs more or less than was planned at any point in the project. Schedule variance presents an overall assessment in dollar terms of the progress of all the work packages in the project that have been scheduled to date. Some indexes to monitor project progress include the CPI, Cost Performance Index, the Scheduling Performance Index, and the percent complete indexes. This is an interpretation of the CPI and the SPI. If the index is greater than 1, then you're under cost, you're ahead of schedule. If the index is equal to 1, you're on cost or on schedule. And if it's less than 1, you're over cost or behind schedule. For the team project, we will do an exercise to see how the progress and performance measurement can be applied to your project. Thank you for your attention.